legislation is one part of it. The process of implementing it is something else. Particularly when what you are charged with are typically the hard cases, not just open public transparency, open public government. Those goals inevitably sort of interact with, compete with other things that we really do care about, like privacy in some cases, and issues associated with making sure that government has a chance to deliberate before everything comes out. On the other hand, if everything isn't out, why isn't it out? Why is it that government should be making the decisions without even knowing that they're occurring? And as we thought through where it is that rubber hits the road, one might say, in respect of that set of complex questions, and thinking through the 3 or 4 candidates we were considering this year, when we hit upon Judge Doyne as the proper recipient, not only did we realize it completed that cycle I was talking about a few minutes ago, but we also realized what an extraordinary, it would have been extraordinary to let him retire without telling us a little bit about what was that process that he was going through as a jurist. So for me, Judge Doyne is here both because we needed that piece to really understand what transparency means when the difficulties of implementation are on the table, but because we have in him what we found to be an extraordinarily able, thoughtful person who in the course of 8 years, and before that, 14 years on the bench, so drew to his decision-making those toughest of questions related to open public meetings and open public records. And for that reason, Bergen Grassroots selected him as our awardee tonight. Now, I'd also like to have Loretta talk a little bit more about Judge Doyne, because she's actually had some interesting interactions with him.
He said to me, "Be careful." Well, he's no longer a judge, so I don't have to be careful. But I'd also like to recognize in the audience another retired jurist who used to head the Bergen County Democratic Organization, former chair Danny Mecca. I have had the privilege of appearing before Judge Doyne on a couple of different occasions, and actually the first 2 were occasions that I lost. So we have a kind of interesting interchange. And when, as a senator, and when Judge Doyne was the assignment judge, we both had a chance to participate in the swearing in of new judges. And whenever he introduced me, he usually said something about, well, I had a little bit to do with Senator Weinberg's career.
I created it.
And that is true. Because, and I won't go into all the details, but when I had to go through the big fight to win the Senate seat with my own party, it was not when Danny Mecca was chair, of course, I had to go to court in order to get certain ballots opened, which I knew would be the winning ballots for this convention. And we originally appeared before Judge Doyne, and as I pointed out, his first decision was wrong. He decided against us, saying this was a party matter. And we appealed, went to the appellate court, and they said, no, you're picking a senator. It's not a party matter. And they remanded it back to Judge Doyne for a full trial. I had been told that Judge Doyne had to cancel a vacation because there were some time constraints involved around this, and I thought, oh, I'm walking in with my lawyer to appear before a judge who's first been overruled and secondly has had to cancel a vacation. I am in hot water here. And that was actually my feeling. And I will tell you, about 10 minutes into that trial, I knew I was getting a fair shake from a really good judge who listened to all sides. We had a full 3-day trial. And of course, I'm a little biased, but at the end of that trial, he decided we should open those 5 votes. So we won that aspect. So he is probably more responsible than almost anybody else that I actually made the state senate to follow Byron Bear and to continue fighting for things like government transparency. So we have developed a little bit of a friendship, and his last decision, literally moments before he retired, was an open public records request we made. And he decided against us. By the way, it was his very last decision on the bench. But actually, I thought he was right. I don't think we prepared a good, appropriate case. So in this case, I agreed with him and we didn't appeal. But literally, as he was walking out, he made that last decision. So that gives you some of the reasons why I think that Judge Doyne, who has more seriously dealt with the really complex cases before the court on things involving open public records and open public meetings. And we've come through the legislative aspect, the administrative aspect, and then the judicial aspect of open public records and open public meetings. Chuck, you've done a great job. Judge Doyne, I wish you were still on the bench. And I appreciate and thank you for all the work you've done and for how you have upheld and held to a great standard the judiciary in Bourbon County. Thank you.
I didn't say very much at the beginning about specific cases because I knew that particularly Senator Weinberg was going to talk a little bit about that. There are actually 2 groups who are not actually here tonight, large groups actually. But I think that most of the freeholders would have been here tonight, except for the fact that they had a very heavy agenda. We're actually going to hear a few minutes from a representative who will have a certificate for Judge Doyne. But I got a call from Maura Di Nicola even at 4 o'clock this afternoon. She says, there's no way I can miss this meeting. That's my responsibility to be there. But it's interesting that the freeholders as a group are interested in what it is that Judge Doyne has been doing. Not just because he decides in ways that they are hoping for in all cases, as you just heard, because he goes through a thought process that's extremely important. There's a second aspect, certain set of things that another group that would have been here tonight in there, I believe actually in their entirety, the Board of Education. They were extremely sorry that they had a workshop tonight and when they're involving the parents and so forth of kids, and they really couldn't cancel it. But I heard from all of them, make sure that you film this thing because we really want to find out what it is that Judge Doyne is talking about. And one of the things that he's going to talk about tonight is something else that Bergen grassroots finds extremely important. That is, what actually are the efforts that are legitimate to protect those who are most vulnerable in society and those who had to fight through certain kinds of discrimination in order to not only get their fair share, but to have their lives saved. And one of the things I'm quite confident you're going to hear about tonight is that, and we're very happy, therefore, that the NAACP and its former leadership is here tonight, and I know that Anthony here and know that Jackie Wilson are here, in part to hear what it is that Judge Doyne is going to tell us about that. But I do want to give Mike Began a chance to deliver the certificate from the freeholders. What you're seeing is a kind of cutting across of groups and perceptions who've taken the time to find out what it really means to be a jurist who does care about transparent government in the context of other goals. Mike?
Thank you, Chuck. Your Honor, the freeholders asked me to read and present you with this. The Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders presents this certificate of commendation honoring former Bergen County Assignment Judge Peter Doyne in in recognition of receiving the Bergen Grassroots Byron Barrett Award for Public Service on January 13th, 2016. Your Honor, thank you for your many years of dedicated service, and congratulations.
And this is the penultimate moment for why you are here tonight. We do want to take just a minute to actually acknowledge that this is the award that Judge Doyne is receiving. And I don't know if you want to stand up beside it or not, Judge, but or just sit here. But Byron M. Barrett Memorial Award for Public Service, presented with appreciation to recent Bergen County Assessment Judge Peter. Simon Judge. He's very good at assessing, but he's also really good at signing. Bergen County Assignment Judge, Judge Peter E. Doyne, to honor his many contributions in particular to New Jersey's open government jurisprudence, not just decisions. There's coming out of what he has been doing a body of law and precedent that is important, and we are very happy to be able to honor Judge Peter Doyne. Thank you. And next time I'll get on the other side so I can actually read what I'm talking about.